Welcome to Amenity's Insight demo. I will be introducing our fundamental key drivers model, which analyzes earnings call transcripts and other interim transcripts such as company conference presentations, analyst investor days, and others, and measures sentiment across 100 business and financial factors and KPIs such as market position, margins, guidance, headwind, tailwinds, and others. Today, we will look at Meta, also known as Facebook. Meta reported earnings on April 26, 2023, and beat revenue and profit expectations, citing strong subscriber growth in both monthly and daily active users. But as you can see here, not everything was rosy for Meta just a couple of quarters ago. As you can see, the overall earnings sentiment, which ranges from positive 100 to negative 100, had been declining and was weak over the past several quarters, primarily due to a weakening in demand in advertising and advertising revenue. And what we've noticed, in addition to that, was there was a couple of other headwind tailwinds, such as macro-related events, foreign currency that was impacting the company's performance. But we've seen a significant improvement in this most recent quarter. And we're going to use the Insights platform to track some of these trends and sentiment and really pinpoint what those KPIs were that was driving the sentiment change over the past few quarters. And so the first thing we look at is our guidance tracker. And we can see sentiment around guidance had been declining, but has started to improve over this past quarter. We've seen something very similar with headwinds and tailwinds. A lot of the headwind tailwind events being related to macro economic factors, things around volatility in the macro environment, things around softening in advertising demand. And you can see which topics are driving that sentiment change here. And one other one that we wanted to look at here is our market position key driver, which accounts for things like daily and monthly active users. And we'd seen that sentiment had declined pretty significantly over the past several quarters, but has started to turn around and improve. And you can see through this sort of topics cluster chart here, what topics are driving that sentiment change, and even be able to go into the detailed data and see the extractions our model has made and go back into the underlying document by clicking on this link. We're going to go back in time to the Q4 2022 earnings call to see the type of sort of topics and themes that were coming out in that call and what sentiment was around those. And what we noticed in that Q4 earnings call was a lot of negative headwind tailwind events, things around foreign currency and how it's impacting their revenue, approximately by 2%. Continuing to face headwinds in that first quarter, revenue headwinds, volatile macroeconomic environment, macro uncertainty, headwinds around their revenue numbers, and what, as we mentioned, weak advertising demand. We fast forward to the Q1 2023 earnings, which was released on April 26th, and we've noticed a improvement in the sentiment in this earnings call, specifically around our market position key driver, with the growth of monthly active users by 2%, impression ad growth, as well as revenue performance improvements, and an improvement in the daily active users, all which has led to a improvement in sentiment for Meta over this past quarter. But when we dig a little bit deeper, we notice that not all is clear for Meta just yet, and that there still are some headwind tailwind events that should be looked at further. Things around a challenging regulatory environment, certain supply constraints, foreign currency headwinds, although not 2% like it was last quarter, still tends to be a headwind tailwind event that was talked about in this past quarter. Still a volatile macro environment, which we all continue to hear about. But then even things around certain restructuring charges that they will be incurring throughout the year, and long-term impact still through that weakening demand for advertising, which can impact their advertising revenue. And so while daily active and monthly active users are up, and that's remarkable from the previous quarters, and sentiment has improved, there's still certain headwind, tailwinds, and certain business-related areas that Meta is still concerned about and talking about in this most recent earnings call. And so when investors use Amenity's insight, they use it to surface key insights and eliminate noise from some of the key financial documents, such as earnings call transcripts. They can use it to understand trends in sentiment over time and even benchmark companies against their peers. And the ability to apply machine learning, natural language processing to deliver human level insights at scale has led to efficiencies and even potential alpha generation from these unstructured documents.